All right, I'm here with my guy Destin Baker, and I'm glad to be here with him. We're gonna talk a little sports talk. And Destin, man, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself, man, and just talk about give me a little overall background about you.
I got you. My name is Destin Baker. Been knowing Darius a long time. Went to school together for a little while. I played football for 9 years, and I played 1 year in college at Huntington. Um, got out of school. Joined the military. Was in the military for 5 years. Got out of the military. Started coaching. Coached a little bit in the military. Started coaching. Been coaching off and on since 2013, 14, something like that.
Okay, all right. So you got a great history in coaching, and me and you go back to even probably pee wee football.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And went to school together and everything. And I personally myself, I coached for the last decade. I want to say coached a little bit of everything. So
That's right. I'm
we
like,
put our minds
like I,
together.
I keep. I've been coaching just mostly football. I've coached a couple years of baseball, and then when I was at Fort Benning, I coached a. I was trying to get into tackle football, but something happened with the team or something, and so I ended up coaching like I was the head flag football coach.
Gotcha, gotcha. So I just want to ask you, man,
All right,
who you pulling for tonight?
man. I think I think I'm pulling. Oh, I think I'm pulling for Miami. I think.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game, a defensive game. I don't know if Carson Beck can get going. I think they'll win, but if Indiana don't stop, or if Indiana can stop Carson Beck, I think Indiana will probably run away with it. But I mean, I don't see it happening. I think it'll be a probably a probably a 3 point game, probably something like 21. Well, I'll say 3 to 4 points, 21-17, probably something like that.
Yeah, something like that, man. That sounds about right. I'm just looking at how Indiana has been doing other teams, man, and I'm
Yeah, they've
like,
been mashing
wow,
them.
you know what I mean? They just been causing turnovers. I looked at what they did to Alabama, and I'm just like, I'm amazed
Yeah,
with what they've been doing.
they've been mashing people, man, on offense and defense, man. That Mendoza guy, man, he's something else. But if Indiana won, I wouldn't care. I think I won't. I mean, I like Carson Beck. You know, I'm a Georgia fan. He came from Georgia, you know, and everything. So, but if Indiana won, I mean, I wouldn't care. You know.
Okay, I understand that. So, with you being a Georgia Bulldog fan, man, what are y'all looking like, man? What I mean, I know y'all probably always have a top recruiting class. Have you
Yeah,
been
this
following kind of what y'all into?
yeah this is this year coming up was actually probably one of the first years in probably gosh 8 years that Georgia hasn't had a top five recruiting class. I think we finished seventh. Um, you know, college football is weird when you lose a 5 star quarterback recruit to Vandy. You know what I mean? You know something's going on with college football.
Yeah, definitely.
But a lot of these guys, a lot of these big, 5 star guys, they don't want to come and see it. You know what I mean? They want to come in and play right away, which I understand. But if you go somewhere like Georgia or Alabama or these schools that are stacking 5 stars, it might be 2, 3 years for you to get on the field if you even get on the field.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something I want to ask you about. Is that even possible, man, with this NIL thing we got going on, man? With so much money. And like you said, nobody wants to sit.
Yeah, it's it's hard. NIL, I think when NIL came out, they meant for it to be a good thing, man. But now it's turned into a madhouse, man. It's a business. It's the highest bidder. I really think that. I mean, I know that kids want to go to the NFL and stuff like that, but now if you're a big high level recruit, you can make NFL money as a freshman in college. Um, teams like all them schools in Texas that's got all the oil money. They have unlimited budgets.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so I think NIL is supposed to make the teams more balanced per se, but it's just it's a madhouse, man. I think there's still like 4,000 or 5,000 kids in the transfer portal that didn't even sign, and that's
that's a
crazy.
lot, man. That is a lot.
Used to,
Uh,
people wanted to go and get an education, and they'd be like, well, the NFL was your reward.
yeah,
But a lot of these kids that get recruited, they've never had nothing, or they want to take care of their mama or their grandmama.
yeah,
So if they go to a big university and they say, hey, we'll give you, you know, $4 million, your freshman year and your sophomore year, they're going to take it, because they want to, take care of their families or whatever, take care of their mama, because a lot of those kids, like I said, they come from, nothing, really.
that's true. That's true.
So
Because it's just hard for me to see um where the kids would be able to make that kind of money, especially if they don't go to the NFL. You know,
that's right. That's right.
because most of them probably ain't gonna make it. You know,
Yeah. I just, the way to fix it, I want, I kind of think maybe like a salary cap kind of thing, like baseball does.
yeah,
But you see, you can't have a salary cap. I'm trying, like maybe if you're a Power Four conference, you have a certain salary cap, and then every other conference has a different one. Because of course, if you're a bigger school, you're going to make more money. You know what I mean?
most definitely.
Like, as far as money wise, you like Kirby said when he got to Georgia and NIL came out. Used to, you could just walk into somebody's house and be like, if you come to Georgia, you come to Alabama, you come to these places, you're going to get developed and go to the NFL. Well, now you have to walk in there and they'll be like, well, you're going to give me 1.5 million, but this school over here is going to give me 2 million, and this school's going to give me 6 million.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the highest bidder. Honestly, it's like a business.
That's true. That's true. And what you have to look at it is a lot of people look at it. Just because you know I'm not saying bad about no school. I go to Colorado.
Yeah, yeah,
They may not be able to develop me as well as a Georgia or Alabama. You know, Georgia, Alabama may have better coaches. They may have better facilities, but Colorado has gave me the whole bucket. Gave me all the NIL money. You know,
that's right.
and that hurts my chances of going to the NFL.
That's right. Well, I think sometimes I think maybe NIL, like, it'll hurt you, but I mean it'll help you, but it'll hurt you too. Because if you're, you can leave as a sophomore in college to go to the NFL as long as you've been out of high school for 3 years. So if you're a sophomore and you're making, I don't know, 2 million a year, and you do your draft process, and they say they're projecting you to be, a second round pick, you could come out your rookie year in the NFL and be making, 4 or 5 million a year,
Yeah,
or you may get graded as a six, as a 6th round pick and be making, right around the same that you're making now.
yeah,
It's just all about the process, man.
yeah. I can definitely see that, man. Um, looking back at uh, the SEC, man. Um, the last three, four
Oh,
years, the SEC has seemed to decline. I mean, they haven't won the championships in years. They have not been able to, defeat a lot of these Big Ten teams. So a lot of people are talking about the decline of the SEC. Do you see that, or do you agree with that at all?
I think, mate, I just think schools are more balanced now. You know what I mean? Um, Used to the SEC, was more bigger and physical and stuff like that. But now, if you step on the field with Ohio State or Michigan, you're going to be able. You're not going to be able to line up and run right at them and mash them. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think competition is more even. I think the the SEC used to be known as the defensive conference,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like nobody in the SEC can stop anybody. Um, the 2 years that Georgia won the SEC back to back, they had the number one defense in the nation,
Yeah.
and last year they couldn't cover nobody. I
Mm-mm.
mean, it's just I think different coaches teach defensive football different ways. You know, and you got the targeting rules, which is that's a different story, but you know, it changes the way you have to coach. Because when I played, you were taught if the receiver touches the ball, lay him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, you can't do that.
No.
Or if you're playing defensive back, as long as you turn your head back towards the ball and make a play on the ball, it won't be pass interference. But they still call it pass interference. So what are you supposed to do? Um, it, it's just it's just I think it's just basically down to like technique and just the teams are more balanced now. I think.
Yeah. And then even when you look at places like Indiana, they don't have as many five stars as Alabama or Georgia, any of those teams, but they're able to go to the transfer portal and get guys that are more experienced. Uh, they're good at their position. Um, do you see that as a good thing, or do you see that
Yeah,
as
I was talking
problematic?
to an old friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about that too. Experience matters. Regardless, if you're in a big game, you're going to want experience. If you need, like when Georgia played Ole Miss, we needed that fourth down. We needed that fourth down stop, and it didn't happen. They threw it right over the safety's head. But if the only way you get experience is to play. You know,
Yeah,
so not only at practice does your starters have to get reps, but your backups need to get reps too.
yeah,
But the only way that you're going to get valuable reps is during the game. It's a difference between practice reps and game reps. And if you have experience, you've seen more than a freshman has. You know how the college game works. If you stay in the same conference, to a different team, you probably faced the same quarterback before, so okay, well, if he rolls this way, he's going to throw it to this guy, or if he, or if it's like third and short, he's going to run the ball, or you just know more tendencies and stuff, and you rely more on those players to make plays when the game comes down to the line.
that's true.
So
That's true.
Indiana kind of flipped the script a little bit, because now all they have on their team is experience. I don't know if
That's
they're
it.
starting any freshmen or sophomores, but I know all the people they got out of the portal are starting, which is helping them. They're in the national championship.
That's it. That's it. I mean, I, and two, that is kind of the way it used to be, where you had guys that had played 3 or 4 years.
Oh
Man,
yeah,
they were the guys that were getting the playing time.
that's right. Yeah, it's hard to come in and play as a freshman, because football is a game of experience. You know what I mean? And college, especially college football, I mean, I'm not saying you can't, but nine times out of ten, you want to make sure that you have that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely, man. In any sport, whether it's football, basketball, whatever it is, you got to have some kind of experience.
That's right. I mean, like,
You know,
going back to basketball, I'm not real familiar with basketball, but I mean, from what I do know about it, I'm pretty sure that, if the time's going down on the shot clock and the game clock, and you want the you want the point guard with the most experience to be able to ball handle, be able to make plays and call the plays with the ball. You know what I mean?
man, what you talking about? Definitely in a basketball game. Yeah. You don't want to put it in nobody's hands that don't understand where to go with it, during those times. Because see, a lot of people don't realize is instinctual. You don't really
That's
think
right.
about it. You just do it. Um,
That's right. Well, see, that's how it was. We used to call it muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
If you're doing, if you do the same drill every single time, every single time, every single time, when it comes down to you having to do that, you do it like you said instinctually. Like if you're playing the option on defense and you're the defensive end and your job is to take the quarterback and you see the quarterback fake the ball and come out with it, it's like, okay, it's going to be an option. So if he comes off around that end, you got him.
That's it.
You don't even have to think. Or, like when I was in the military, we did so many drills and stuff, that once stuff came down to the wire, you didn't even have to think, you just reacted.
Good, good, yeah.
So
Exactly. You know, that's definitely I know it definitely played a role in the military because when your life is on the line, you're in fear, you needed those instincts to kick in,
that's right.
because you didn't have time to be sitting around thinking about what's going on in a
The
life or death
same,
situation.
like when I was in the military and when you're coaching and stuff, you have to have a plan A, but then you got to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E, a plan, however many plans you need. You know what I mean?
I understand that.
Because, because like nothing, you can scout a team and watch film on a team or whatever, and okay, well, 95% of the time on third and short, they're going to give it to the running back, you
Yeah,
know, and then they may come out there and not run any of that stuff you saw on film, you know.
yeah,
So now you're
yeah,
having to react on the fly. So you got to trust your players that's been playing defense and offense to react. Like, okay, well, on this play, I know I'm supposed to block this guy, but since they're lined up like this, now I know to block this guy.
yeah, yeah.
So it all
I can,
goes hand in hand.
yeah, I can definitely remember days, man, sitting back watching film, and sometimes they'll have players that didn't even wasn't even playing, and so now I have game plan for this scheme and that scheme, and they got a whole different player out there
Oh,
playing.
man, that's crazy. That happens more than you think, because you think you have a good game plan, and 95% of the time they're in the shotgun spread, and then they come out under center first play of the game, and they want to run smash mouth, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah,
So it's just so you're having to react on the fly. So then they have the advantage. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I can definitely see that. Uh, Let me ask you about high school, man. I know
All right.
it's been a long time since been in high school, and what do you think about the discipline with high school sports
Um,
and the structure? I know it's not what it used to be. What do you think about that?
I think that I don't know if you probably heard about that brawl that happened over in Georgia or whatever. That Gainesville was playing somebody or whatever.
Yeah, I
Um,
heard about that.
and the coach was trying to take up for his guys, which I would too. But there's rules in place. And I think that there is discipline, but I think the way it is now is it's all how do I want to word it? Like superstar driven. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
if you're in ninth grade and you're standing on the bench, it's like, why am I standing here? You know what I mean? It's like I'm just a tackling dummy in practice. You know,
Hmm.
but see, they don't realize that. Yeah, you're in ninth grade now, and you're a tackling dummy or eighth grade or whatever, but you're also out there and you're getting valuable reps and you're listening because sometimes mental reps mean more than anything.
Yeah.
Um, and God forbid, let's say you're the third string wide receiver or whatever, fifth string wide receiver, and God
Yeah.
forbid it's a sloppy game and somebody gets hurt. If you go in the game, you need to know what's going on.
Exactly.
I'm real big into paying attention whether you're on the field or not. Um, but you gotta be disciplined. And I just think like I said, I just think high school now. since the NIL thing became a thing, is more like superstar driven. You know what I mean?
It is. It is. Um, and just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying about that, man, a guy told me I was asking him about coaching jobs in the area, and he said, man, basically how they hire coaches in the area is you know a star player, you associate with their family in some type of way, and then they hire you as a coach.
That's right.
So they're not really evaluating the skills of the coach or trying to get the best coach. That's just that you have the pull on those star players.
Well, you know what? Some of these school systems, I mean, private schools, real bad, but some public schools are like it too. You know, the board, like the board has too much say so. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like in college, if you're a coach, you have complete control.
yeah,
You know, and now these high schools, you know, you get hired on and you're the head coach, but it's like you're not the head coach.
yeah,
You know, because if you don't, you know, because like let's just say you're not from the area, and let's say you get hired at X school, whatever,
yeah,
and you don't know anything about this guy over here was the 3 year starter quarterback. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Kirby says, your job's never safe. You know,
yeah,
so if you have a quarterback competition and he doesn't win the quarterback competition, then you got people talking, and then the
yeah,
board talks, and then you get
yeah.
called. You know what I mean? So it's too much. I mean, I understand that parents are passionate. I got it. My parents are passionate, but my parents let the coaches coach. You know what I mean?
That's it.
I think that's the biggest thing. Let the coaches coach. You may not agree with everything they say or everything they do or what play they call, but let the players play and let the coaches coach is what I feel.
Man, that's good. That's good, man. It's so important, man, because nowadays people just, I mean, you can see it. Like people just feel like they know more than the coach.
That's
And
right.
even if the coach is not doing well or not doing bad, that's not your place to try to step in during that. You can, like what the coach is gonna do, or take your kid off the team, or
That's right.
you
Well,
know
see,
what I mean.
I've been in both situations where I've heard it from being on the sidelines. I've heard the crowd talking, and people. I mean, people in the crowd's always going to talk. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah,
always going to think you should have threw the ball when you ran it or run it when you threw it. You know what I mean? Or whatever sport you're coaching, they're always going to think you could call the most perfect game in the world, and they're going to think, oh well, on this play they should have did this. You know, and this play instead of driving the lane, they should have kicked it out and hit the three. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, and I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but 95% of those people talking have never been associated with sports or nothing.
they have
You know
no
what I
idea.
mean? They don't know what it's like to during the summer to go out for 2 a days and be in the heat and working
Hey,
out and
yeah,
running
yeah,
and especially when you get to college, if them college coaches, I'm not gonna say they don't care, but I mean they don't care. You know what I mean? Like your mama
yeah.
can't talk to the coach. You know what I mean? Well, why ain't my kid getting playing time? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Ain't gonna happen.
Like I told my son, he plays now. This will be his second year on varsity. Like I told him, I
Yeah,
said, listen, I said I understand that you want to play every play. I got it. I understand. I said, but if you don't get to play, I said you might only get to play a minute of the game on special teams. I said, however much time you get to play, make that count.
yeah.
I said because believe it or not, somebody's watching, and they're gonna be like,
Oh
well,
yeah,
wow, he only got you know 2 minutes of playing time, but he blocked this guy real good, or
yeah,
or he caught the one pass that was thrown to him, or he what I mean, or he did this good, or he did that good, or he blocked the punt, or
yeah,
he was running really fast. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it just takes. I think kids are just built different nowadays, man. And it just takes them. They just it's like I said, it's all about superstar driven. They don't. Some kids don't want to be pushed to be to be better, or like if I'm
Yeah.
pushing you, I know you can do better than what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it, man.
Excuse me.
You said it. Um, so when we looking at high school sports, we're looking at now we got public and private schools. When you look at what's going on with your private schools and your public schools, there's been a push, I want to say, by Alabama High School Association to try to figure out whether they need to make it separate once it comes to tournament play between private and public schools. Because you got some people saying, hey, private school might have an unfair advantage. What do you think about that?
You know, I've been on both sides of the coin. Um, it's hard for me to say. I don't really. I ain't gonna lie to you. I haven't really looked into it too much.
Yeah.
But I, from me looking in, it looks like the AISA. There's more and more schools leaving the AISA to come public school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's more money in that kind of stuff. I mean, the AISA is a good organization,
Yeah.
but there's more money in the AHSAA.
It is.
So my thing is, I mean, if you're a private school, I think private schools can recruit, quote unquote. But I think if I mean schools are going to recruit regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean even if like when Rush Prost was at Hoover,
Yeah.
he was still recruiting. Hoover ain't a a private school.
Yeah.
You
He
know he,
was.
but there. I mean I don't know, man. It's just I haven't really looked into that too much. I've heard about it, but I haven't really looked into it. I know that they're trying to get congressmen involved and all that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's going to get out of hand. It's going to get really
Yeah.
out of hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think is a way that they might could fix that issue, or
You know,
well, how would you go about it?
I don't, I don't know, honestly. I mean, my philosophy is, why are you trying to fix something that ain't broke?
Okay.
I mean, what's the problem? Like, why are they trying to change it? I always thought, I mean, I thought private schools and public schools were broke up anyway, HSAA and AISA,
Well,
unless they're going to tell a school like, Briarwood Christian, it's like a 6A school, so they got to go play AISA now, and that's
yeah,
not going to be fair. How is that fair?
you're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
so it's like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're AISA or if you're a private school and you play public school ball, they're going to say it's not fair. But then if they make all the or the private schools that are playing public school ball go back to the AISA or go to the AISA,
Yeah.
that's not going to be. You're not going to be able to make everybody happy all the time.
That's true. That's true. I mean, just like you said, you got a lot of people who recruit. Like when Rush Post was at Hoover, he recruited.
That's right.
Um, so what they should do probably is just make it legal. You know, I mean, if
That's right.
private schools can do it, let the public schools go ahead and do it. Just make it legal.
Oh no, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I agree 100%.
Just make it
It's
legal. Everybody now it's even. You know, everybody can recruit. The rules are the same. I mean, and you don't have to worry about it. Everybody can play each other.
I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, yeah. That's
You know.
I. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, like you said, if you know if you're a public school and you want to like in the school, like if you have two schools in your town and
Yeah.
one's a public school and one's a private school, and you want to scrimmage them, you can.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to play them in a game, you can. Like you follow on
Yeah.
Lakeside, like right there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that Lakeside can hang on the field with you, Paul. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to scrimmage against each other, then they could. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, Dothan High and Houston Academy or Dothan High and Providence, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's,
I think it might be not talk over you, but it might be more of
no.
an issue with the smaller schools versus the larger schools.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Dothan High, they got ooh man, the whole city of Dothan.
That's right.
So they don't have to recruit, they just get whoever in the city.
Well, you can tell how much different football is in each side of the state because if you're from this side of the state in football and you travel, you're going to go to Birmingham, Montgomery, and Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and 9 times out of 10, if you're a 5A school like you follow and you're traveling first round, you're going to Mobile to play Viger or something like that.
Yeah.
So, you follow somebody like that blowing through everybody in their region, and they get over there to Mobile, and you follow has 70 players, and they get over
Yeah.
there to Mobile, and Viger has 120.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my gosh, and everybody, and you may be, outweigh your competition by 30 pounds, 40
Yeah.
pounds, 50 pounds. Then you get over there, or Birmingham or Montgomery or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're all the same size.
Yeah.
Like, it's more even. I think it's more even like in basketball and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
like, if you're, Dothan, you're 7A.
Semi. Yeah.
So if you're going to, so you're going to have to, if you're going to win the state championship, you're going to have to go through Central or
Yep.
Hoover or
Hmm.
Thompson or
Yeah.
places like that. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever been to Hoover, man, but that school looks like a daggum college.
Oh my God. It's huge, man. It is huge.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's just, I went off
You
on a
know,
tangent. I'm sorry.
like I said, it ain't just Hoover. It's several schools like Thompson. You got
Oh,
all
yeah,
those big
yeah.
schools up there, man.
Well, Thompson, they came out of nowhere, man. Like, they used to, I'm not going to say that, Hoover used to be like the main school in 7A, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then Thompson started getting better. And
Yeah.
then Patrick Nix went to
Central.
Central, and Central started getting better, man. And
Hmm.
Central's just, man, there's some good ball in 7A, just like there's good ball in 6A, 5A, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
man, them 7A schools are something else, dude.
Man, that's amazing. They're amazing, man. They are amazing. When you go, like I said, you actually go to one of those campuses, they look like college campuses.
Yeah, I mean, my cousin, he played on the first state championship team that Rush Pros had at Hoover, and I
Yeah.
went over there to watch him play, man, and like people's tailgating and
Wow.
all kinds of stuff, man. And I'm just like, geez,
Wow.
it's like, I mean, these, yeah, people are tailgating and they're, shutting the town down and going to the games and all kinds of stuff, man. And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's in Alabama, it's getting close to what Georgia or Texas. I don't know if you've seen these stadiums that they're building in Georgia for high schools, like 20,
oh
thirty
yeah,
thousand seat stadiums for high school teams, you know. So
and
it's
those
people are putting a
coaches,
lot of money in it.
man, they're paying those coaches over there like. I just Googled it the other day, and I think the highest paid high school coach in Georgia makes 180,000 a year, something like that.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And I didn't even look at Texas. They didn't tell them what Texas is.
Yeah. Man, that is a lot for a high school coach, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
And I can imagine they probably don't do any teaching, they just coach.
Yeah, I think. I think a lot of those bigger schools, that's all they wanted you to be the coach and the AD. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot to do all of that and then try to teach on top of that. So you really don't have time to.
oh yeah, yeah. It's I when I was younger, man, I never thought like I thought. I didn't ever think you had to go to school to be a coach. I thought you could be like, hey, I'm just a coach now. You know what I mean? But then I found out that's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
A lot of school districts are changing it now where you don't have to be a teacher or you don't have to be, they're making it where you can just coach because what
yeah,
they've
yeah,
noticed, it's a lot of guys out there, good coaches, but they didn't, they didn't want to be a teacher. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of him. I mean, you know Jarrell Jernigan from Utah, don't you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. He when he came
yeah,
back to Utah, he taught. I think when he was an assistant, he was a teacher like driver's ed or something.
yeah.
But then once he got the head coaching job, I think all he had to do was be the head coach of the AD. I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Jarrell. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good coach, man. Real good coach. Oh man, anything you like to add, man? That's pretty much all I can
Uh,
think of, man.
no,
Anything that
not
you can think of?
not that I can think of. Just that if if you're a kid or a teenager or whatever, just grind out, man. I know it sucks, and trust me, I've been in the sucky weather. I've been in, you know, I've been at those practices that last seem like they're never going to end. I've been in the weight room. That, you think you're not making progress, but sometimes. you have to make mental progress before you can make physical progress.
That's
Um,
it.
and just keep chasing it, man, and get better at your craft. Like be able to be flexible. You might have been, you know, a wide receiver your whole life, or a running back, or whatever, and you go to a school, something happens, and you have to transfer to a school, and you know, because you got like a little bit of a stout body, they're like, well, maybe a couple plays we might need you to play offensive guard
Yeah.
or tight end.
Yeah.
Just be flexible. And like I said, if you get, a whole game of playing time, or if you get a minute of playing time, just make it count, because you may not think it's like, well, I'm only in the game for a minute, but those reps will matter. Those reps
Yeah.
matter, and the game experience matters. And just keep chasing your dreams. I know, there's always going to be doubters and stuff like that, but don't listen to them. Chase your dreams, play ball, and to tell you the truth, if you play Division 1 football, or Division 2 football, or Division 3 football, or NAIA football, or JUCO, you're playing ball. You're playing college ball.
Hmm.
Make it count. The Division 3 football has the same rules as Division 1, has the same rules as Division 2. So don't get down on yourself if you wanted to go to Auburn or Alabama. You got to play at Huntington. That's where I played at Huntington.
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, I had the most fun of my life, man. You meet, people. This. People you grew up with, you play sports with. They're gonna be your friends your whole life, man.
Oh man, what you talking about?
And
Yes, sir.
and you'll just be sitting there, man, not even thinking about nothing. You'll be like, I wonder how he is now, or
Yeah.
I wonder what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but yeah, just keep grinding. I know it sucks, and I know there's good days and bad days, man. But there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and put God first, and play as a team, and just chase your dreams, man, and just get better. And like I said, if you feel like you're not making progress, maybe you should step back and maybe maybe you need to be mentally tough before you can be physically tough.
Yeah.
Because if you have that right mindset, if you train yourself mentally to have the right mindset, then that'll make your attitude better and everything. And just listen and react.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. That's a great thing, man, for these, young kids coming up, man, to learn. And I sure appreciate your time, man. And it was great catching up with you, man.
Yeah, man, you too, bro. I appreciate it.
Hey, man. Thank you, man. My guy, Destin Baker, man. I really appreciate you.
Y'all take it easy.
You too, man.
See ya.
All right.